Prior to commencing, we strongly advise viewer discretion. The following content is intended solely for educational and entertainment purposes. This is the exact federal courtroom testimony from the Sean Diddy Combs trial as reported by Inner City Press. On the seventh day of the Diddy trial, an unexpected moment occurred when Sheila was summoned to testify. Renowned as Prince's iconic percussionist and trusted associate, her appearance was largely unanticipated. However, upon taking the stand, she represented not only herself but also conveyed the final warnings of a man believed to possess critical knowledge. Sheila disclosed that Prince had confided in her years prior to his untimely passing, expressing fears for his safety after uncovering unsettling truths about the industry. Her testimony transcended mere hearsay, linking back to Diddy, the industry's most concealed secrets, and a series of enigmatic remarks made by Prince shortly before his death. What Sheila articulated reverberated throughout the courtroom, connecting previously unspoken dots. She commenced her testimony with composure, yet her statements bore significant implications. She informed the jury that in the lead-up to Prince's 2016 death, the legendary musician exhibited heightened paranoia, not regarding death itself, but concerning the threat of being silenced. He expressed discomfort, stating, "There is more occurring in this industry than anyone realizes. It is not solely about possessing your masters, it is about who possesses you." Sheila recounted a particular late-night conversation in which Prince remarked, "There are individuals at the top playing God. If I raise my voice too much, they will silence me." She indicated that he referenced several names, with one name recurring, Sean Diddy Combs. Prince suspected that Diddy was engaged in activities that extended beyond the realm of music and believed he was shielded by influential organizations. Sheila clarified that his comments were not born from jealousy. Rather, they stemmed from his personal experiences. She recounted that Prince had cautioned her against attending certain industry gatherings, particularly those attended by Diddy, stating, "You do not want to be in that environment. Events occur there that are unforgettable." These gatherings were not typical after-parties. Prince reportedly referred to them as rituals disguised as celebrations. Although Sheila initially thought Prince was overstating the situation, her perspective shifted after witnessing his distress following a visit to Los Angeles. He was unable to eat or sleep, repeatedly expressing, "They are aware. I am aware." Sheila also shared a troubling account that left the courtroom in shock, describing a party that Prince allegedly hosted against his will. "The first Diddy party I ever attended," she recalled, "took place at Prince's residence, and he was not pleased about it." According to Sheila, around 2006, Diddy had requested to hold a private event at Prince's estate, Paisley Park. Prince reluctantly consented after pressure from mutual industry associates. Sheila clarified that the event was intended to be a professional gathering. However, what transpired was something Prince wished to avoid. The party commenced like any other, featuring a red carpet, champagne, and notable guests. But once the cameras ceased to flash, the atmosphere shifted. Sheila recounted, "The security personnel informed me that no one was permitted to bring their phones or personal security. It was at that moment Prince remarked, 'This is no longer my party.' Inside, the ambience transformed." Sheila described observing conduct she had never witnessed at Paisley Park, including suggestive performances, the distribution of controlled substances, and a disturbing lack of boundaries. Additionally, there was a private area of the estate restricted to most attendees, with only a select few granted access. Prince looked at her and stated, "That is where the real party is." Sheila refrained from entering that section. The following morning, Prince reportedly told her, "That was the last time I allowed him into my home." Something dark accompanied him. When the prosecution inquired if she believed Prince regretted granting Diddy entry into his world, she affirmed, "Absolutely. He felt as though he had opened a door that could not be shut." After that night, everything changed. As her testimony progressed, Sheila began to construct a narrative that left the courtroom in disbelief. She asserted that Prince believed control within the music industry extended beyond financial aspects. It was psychological. He expressed, "They do not merely desire your hits, they seek your silence. If they cannot purchase it, they will obliterate you." Sheila noted that Prince frequently discussed NDAs, clandestine agreements, and secretive meetings where careers could be established or dismantled in an instant. She linked this to the rumors surrounding Diddy's alleged extravagant parties. Sheila testified that Prince believed the gatherings were not merely for enjoyment, but rather for the exertion of power. He remarked, "They record everything. That's how they ensnare you." According to Sheila, Prince characterized it as a system where individuals are groomed, filmed, and subjected to blackmail, with non-compliance leading to their disappearance. Sheila also observed that during this period, Prince had initiated a comprehensive legal and spiritual battle against Warner Brothers, the same entity involved in his contract disputes and Diddy's record label agreement. He informed me that these matters were interconnected. The executives who had shortchanged him were also instrumental in Diddy's rise. Furthermore, she stated that Prince believed Diddy was permitted to ascend because he conformed to the system, while Prince faced repercussions for his attempts to claim ownership of his music and voice his concerns. The courtroom fell silent as Sheila recounted one of Prince's last remarks to her: "When I depart, ensure it is not in vain. Remember my words. Safeguard the truth, even if it is unpleasant." Sheila conveyed to the jury that Prince confided in her about an extensive network within the music industry, one predicated on surveillance. He asserted that everything was recorded, and I mean everything, she testified. Prince indicated that many of the exclusive parties he once attended were, in fact, traps. He explained that individuals were lured into rooms, offered substances, and subsequently filmed, unaware that the recordings would eventually be used as leverage. Sheila noted that Prince believed this surveillance apparatus was designed to ensure loyalty and silence. And did he? He claimed Diddy was one of the gatekeepers, Sheila recounted, referencing numerous discussions in which Prince depicted Diddy as someone who had crossed ethical boundaries and now functioned not merely as an artist, but as an enforcer. He was not just participating, Prince allegedly stated he was curating and controlling. Prince had become increasingly troubled by accounts he had heard from artists who had escaped the bad boy environment. Sheila recounted that Prince would describe how they would suddenly vanish, spiral, or disappear from the charts overnight. He allegedly expressed his belief that some individuals had been blackballed for refusing to participate in certain activities or for attempting to reveal the truth about what transpired at these gatherings. However, what truly disturbed Prince, as per Sheila, was the notion that footage existed and was being stored or traded. He remarked, "This isn't merely dirt. This is currency. They possess control over you with it." Sheila testified that Prince had started investigating who had access to these tapes and was apprehensive about the consequences if he were ever featured in one, even if only in the background. This fear, she stated, haunted him until his passing. Sheila also shared that the last conversation she had with Prince was not only peculiar but also concerning. She recounted to the courtroom that just days before his death, Prince unexpectedly called her in the early hours of the morning. "I remember checking the time. It was past 2 a.m., she noted. He never called that late." Her voice grew tense as she described how he sounded frightened. While he was not afraid of death, that night he appeared fearful of people. Sheila testified that Prince spoke in a cryptic manner, yet he clearly stated, "They're watching me. They want me silent." Although he did not specify who they were, she was already aware of the system, the industry, and the gatekeepers he had always cautioned her about. He informed her of his intention to speak out, mentioning that there were plans in motion. He had already been in discussions with individuals regarding testifying in a federal case, though he did not disclose the specifics of whose case it was. At that moment, the courtroom became animated. The prosecution requested clarification from her. Did Prince indicate he would be testifying? She affirmed with a nod. Yes. When I inquired about the subject matter, he stated, "These parties, these artists, the tapes, they are not mere rumors. I have witnessed them." Sheila noted that he appeared particularly troubled by the involvement of individuals he had once regarded as allies. He recounted attending a gathering where he realized that half of the attendees were there to gather secrets, rather than to share music. Then came the statement that rendered the courtroom silent. He remarked, "If I fall, it will be because I endeavored to save someone who did not wish to be saved." Sheila paused. "Initially, I believed he was referring to an artist, but in light of recent events, I now suspect he was alluding to Diddy." She remembered Prince's last words during that conversation, "Do not allow them to distort my legacy." And if anything occurs, recall this call. Speak out loudly if I am unable to. The following morning, Sheila attempted to return his call but received no response. A few days later, he was gone. I was reluctant to accept it, she stated. However, now that I have witnessed the revelations regarding the abuse, the parties, and the coercion, I believe Prince was attempting to alert the world, and they silenced him before he could do so. Sheila E.'s testimony progressed into one of the most impactful segments of the day as the prosecution established direct connections between Prince's concerns and the federal charges against Sean Diddy Combs. When asked if she believed Prince's warnings about surveillance, manipulation, and coercion were evident in the case, she replied, "Every single detail that Cassie presented in this trial was something Prince informed me was occurring years ago." She elaborated, "He disclosed to me that artists were being recorded without their consent, that these gatherings served as fronts not only for drugs and power but also for blackmail, and that NDAs were not safeguarding victims. Rather, they were silencing them." The jury attentively listened as Sheila recounted a conversation in which Prince allegedly referred to Diddy not merely as a producer or colleague, but rather as a handler. She stated, "He claimed Diddy was aware of everyone's vulnerabilities and knew how to exploit them. His ambition extended beyond controlling music. He sought to dominate individuals." Prince purportedly feared that other artists who opposed him might suffer a similar fate. It was at this point that Sheila mentioned the coincidental downturns in the careers of several bad boy artists. He remarked, "Mace totaled day 26. It was not merely mismanagement, it was retribution." Subsequently, she informed the court about the agreement between Warner Brothers and Bad Boy, a collaboration that Prince allegedly described as binding two devils together. Sheila testified that he harbored animosity towards Warner for their treatment of him. However, upon discovering that they were financing Diddy, he remarked that it was logical. "Naturally, they are. They support the machine. I managed to escape, but others may never do so." When prosecutors inquired why Prince had not disclosed this information earlier, Sheila's voice trembled slightly. He had been biding his time, intending to unveil the narrative with supporting evidence, dates, names, and contracts. Tragically, the week prior to his scheduled meeting with an investigative team, he passed away. In that moment, the prolonged silence of nearly a decade was illuminated in an entirely new light.